Buongiorno. My hand seems like a keep. Test. Holy guacamole, that's probably Lotus Field. I have to guess that Otawara into Expedition map is Lotus Field Twiddle. Alright, we've got a lot of amulets, but what comes next? Might be just death. Okay, so I think I'll play Mirrorpool. The reason for that is that if I go Mirrorpool Amulet, if I live next turn, I untap, draw Titan, fetch map for Lotus Field for 6 mana, and Mirrorpool already is in my graveyard, so I can even get Lumra and then draw my deck. If I don't play the Mirrorpool, then I guess I don't necessarily get to do that. Because Mirrorpool being in my hand might be a little bit of an issue. Actually, no, like... There were some lines with double amulets where you could do funny stuff with putting Mirrorpool into play with a Grazer you have to third up, but... Consigned Memory. Alright, so we do have a turn, but I need a banger. Okay. When tapped out, I mean it's a combo deck, so... What are you supposed to do? Just, you know, need a Titan. No i dupa. Kaniki, can I hear your point on Rumble? It's traditionally spelled Kaniki with a K, for what it's worth. But sure, I'll tell you. I found Rumble. Holy shit, Hidden Strings is so good. So, people make the comparison, like Rumble Explore, because they're 2 mana sorceries, and you might play them in this deck. But I don't think they actually have much in common that's actually really in common. And I just want to play Explore because I do value getting to put my lands into play from my hand, but I don't value milling for cards and grabbing a card. No one is killing nobody. Someone on Reddit asked me why we would play Explore over Rumble if it was to intentionally weaken the deck to dodge bans. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, I guess. I'll copy the Misty Rainforest, that way I can fetch a Surveil land and Surveil. Although at this point I assume I'll finally die. Deserted Temple, no nie, to już jest przesada. Explore Giga Chad. What does Shifting Woodland do in your deck, right? You look at it and you ask yourself. And the answers are simple. It acts as a combo piece and it acts as a anti-interaction tool. It's probably useful to have Rumble, to use Shifting Woodlands as an anti-interaction tool, to use Rumble as a way to put Titan into your graveyard without having to go through the stack. Sounds fairly useful against subtlety, in control, and all of that. At the same time, I was hardly worried about that aspect, and I've been defeating control extremely easily. So I didn't care for that. And explore is just better. Like explore is actually a card that makes a deck, that functions in a deck. That's actual synergy. Rumble has synergy with Plan D Shifting Woodland. So I prefer to have a card to play cards that have synergy with my deck, that make my deck run smoothly, that make my deck function, that make my opening hands good, over cards that give up everything else to support a fringe plan against a few matchups. But again, I'm also playing a Amulet Titan deck. I'm not playing an Analyst loop deck. And some are playing Analyst loop decks. So like, I guess if that's how you'll build your deck fully, then yeah, it might end up making sense. Although from what I've been following House of Mana MTG's lists, was also not particularly happy with Melville and Rumble in those deck lists either. $35 cards is a lot, and Wish for Thassa's Oracle is also a lot, but it's not as easy as you see. The villain wants to produce some extra mana first. How do I side against control? Oh, well, depends on control. But I do cut most of my sagas for the most part against white. Keep them against blue-black. Then just classic stuff. Like as I typically do with Amulet, I just add cards over, boarding them out, so. Wish. Does casting 2 wishes actually... Like, let's read it in English, right? You may play a card you own from outside the game this turn. So I assume if you play 2, you can play 2 cards. Gonna play Bojuka Bros and Endurance. Is Force of Vigor doing anything for us? Can hit him up. Does Vexing Bubble do anything? Not really, right? Do I want Spelunking over Rings? Could be. Fast can kill Breach. Yeah, that does not seem like the route I want to pursue. How I considered one Cavern in the main? Not really. Every set there is more and more lands that are powerful, and it's harder and harder to fit all of them. Cavern is French, so it has to be on the sidelines now. This hand wins on turn 3. I go Saga. Play a Ring. And by Ring I mean an Amulet. Then I play another one. Then I fetch map, Lotus Field, kill. Can copy Deserted Temple. But once again, I should play Mirrorpool so that my Titans actually kill because the Mirrorpool is gonna be in the graveyard. Powerful, just leading on a Deserted Temple. Boseiju. Suddenly it's a green deck. No, what, yeah. You're having some trouble beating control TBH with Titan. Interesting. I didn't get too much experience of new Titan versus new control, so maybe my opinion will change. Expected it to be harder than it was though at first. Defense grid it's been pretty good for me still. Second Cavern is good versus it. Cavern is fine, although Cavern Cavern helps against counterspell and doesn't help against the entire breadth of like everything else, so it's always a bit weird to say that. I find the Cavern praising. It's good to have a variety of tools. Anyway, boarding out Saga is good. Spelunking is good. Yeah, I mean, of course, as always, as you board out Sagas, Spelunking comes in its place. And Woodlands is good, but not always, and plenty of other cards are good, but not always, so. And I was getting Hanweir Battlements. I do anything to play around. Okay, I know what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to get Echoing Deeps over Crumbling Vestige. That way I would be able to bounce Echoing Deeps, and then I would have Deeps in hand in case of Boseiju on Hanweir. So I missed that. I think now I can't. But what I can do is get an Urza's Cave, but I need a red source. No, I guess Urza's Cave is good. No, it is not, because I will not have a red source. While they're playing Temple, it's to untap the Lotus Field. I'm playing against Twiddle Storm. Unfortunately, this is the best I can do. I can play around Boseiju on Battlements. Interested how you playing Kessig instead of Oran Reef. I think untapped. A common question. I should update the Titan FHQ soon, because I am answering the same question often. I just think that untapped colorless is roughly equal to tapped green when it comes to drawing it in your opening hand, and Kessig's ability is better than Oran Reef's ability. Marginally, but it is. Just living at dead after Grief Ban. It seemed not dead, right? It had some 5-0s immediately. At least Sodek told me so. Sodek told me raging that people like insta 5-0 living and regardless. Somebody insta 5 out, I think Medinone. Insta 5 out with Living End regardless, with just no grief, but still playing Architects of Thought, and Sodak was furious. It's probably a good deck against Boros for sure. Heretico, I'll probably put something in writing once I, you know, solidify my opinions to playing some challenges. I'll probably post something in the Discord for the subs to feast on, answering the common ones. You found a pretty cool combo with Onion Nightmare. The new gecko which makes black red when it enters goes infinite with Nightmare when you have one in the grave and one in hand. But then you do an infinite amount of nothing, right? Turn 3 kill. Anything written about Lumra? Lumra is just like, it's the same as Analyst. It loops with Mirrorpool instead of looping with Shifting Woodlands. And it's like, it still costs 6 mana total. It's like just more mana upfront for being beefier. Then just have a Marionette Apprentice and kill them. That sounds okay. Maybe seems worthwhile to approach the deck this way. Am I gonna get Spell Pierced? Whoa. Strix Serenaded. Why do you like Fire Spout over Pyroclasm? I believe I answered that question, coming from the user Lurer Boren in the chat. In the Discord, rather. So gonna Amulet, copy, Bounce Lantern, Pow Pow, kill. I played against something that played 3 toughness creatures against me. What was it exactly? I can't remember right now. Boros? Could Boros have had any 3 toughness creatures? Well, they do sometimes. They do have the Guide Raptors or anything like that. That does happen. Mill had the 3 toughness crabs. Yeah, Warren. Maybe I played against that. I don't remember playing against that, but certainly. I think somebody just played a DCR against me. I played against a prowess deck and they had DCR in their deck, so that was the breaking point. Not a very common card nowadays, but certainly not an unreasonable one to face. So play Deserted Temple. The old Fish doesn't have any list any 5-0s with Living End. Are the lists not out yet? I have no idea. I just been verbally told by Sodex, so maybe I was wrong on that. If villain has Boseiju, I can get stopped, but hopefully I won't. This counters creature, right? That's not nice. More Strixes. Brutal. Fetches Boseiju. It's a good sign. Right, probably this was what Sodic has seen. Trophy League, Post Band, Living End, Griefless. We got another trophy today, my friends. The list is very playable and I will continue testing for Super Modern on Friday. Living End is still alive. The side guide is updated. Why do Lumra and Bees not compared to one slot? So just in my mind when I build my deck, it has no relevance to me whether I play Lumra. Like, decision as to whether I play Colossus does not connect in any way to whether I play Lumra. It's just unrelated. So that's why. Just find it to be like, I'm playing the graveyard creatures to be able to play less packs, basically. 2 level 2 threats. Come on, Winky, don't hit me with that made up talk. Made up language. What the heck is level 2 monsters? The Twiddle deck looks pretty strong. That's fair. I play creatures instead of packs because I long wanted to remove packs from my decks. From my deck. That's just it. I think we're gonna go map. Let's Shifting Woodland. I guess. No, but villain had Boseiju, right? So it's not much hope, honestly, to beat Boseiju. Fetch Lotus Field and draw a banger. That's works. It's also a Lotus Field. Oh yeah, also I enjoyed that it makes me not susceptible to Stone Brain. It's not clear to me that... So like, I don't know, would you feel differently about the curve if this was an Analyst? It's roughly the same, like Analyst is almost a 6 mana card. It would be a bit cheaper overall, but roughly the same. And it's not clear to me that I like one more than the other, so let's play a pair. Is Twiddle Storm broken? Seems like it. Is Echoing Deeps relevant in the deck? It's very relevant. You won't be able to loop Analyst with one Amulet, or you won't be able to do some other stuff. It's pretty good. I would just recommend you to find it. Just don't play Analyst and you'll be fine, I guess. Like, that's also fine. What is the loop? Analyst becomes Woodlands, sacrifices itself to reanimate all the lands. Lotus Field is a way to make the loop mana positive and a sack outlet for your lands.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Well, you don't need more Lotus Fields, like, or rather, yes, you do need more Lotus Fields, but Echoing Deeps is your second Lotus Field. If you have 2 of those in your graveyard, you just use a trick that maybe is not obvious. Namely, when Lotus Field and Echoing Deeps are going to enter the battlefield from the graveyard at the same time, Deeps is going to copy a land that Deeps can copy Lotus Field. Why play Lotus Field over Zuran Orb if you need a sack outlet? That's hacking groundbreaking. Maybe because it's better in the deck in a pretty clear and obvious way, but maybe Chan has a better explanation. Honestly, pretty unfair that my opponent just interacted twice. Artifact or creature? Holy shit, just countered an Amulet and then a Titan. Just too much. Mario Brega, Ishlumphi, Yuna TCG, thank you all for the subs. Do we have anything for Storm? I played a Trinisphere in the last prelim. I don't think playing dedicated cards for Storm is very effective because you lose anyways. They're a tiny bit faster in their Blood Moon deck, so like, and the cards you would need to commit are fairly specific, so I think there is pretty low returns on having a Trinisphere or Jailer or Magebane Lizard in your sideboard. Probably better to just dodge. It's mostly for the Harbingers, but sometimes it's 1 mana discard 4 on Frog. So I prefer the Turtle in that role, but still need to play more of the Turtle to get a better feeling on it. Isn't Soulless Jailer cool? Yeah, it's so cool. Trinisphere is not good against Twiddle, also, even though you meant Ruby Storm. Yeah. I did mean it, so. So I think Titan is just great against Boros and Eldrazi. And then it's bad against Storm. And close against control decks. From what I experienced so far. I think Defense Grid is pretty good against all the frog based decks, whatnot. Just play Greed and they are in shambles, so they don't have a counter for it at the very moment. What happens in RCQ if someone already qualified for RC wins? I think there is a pass down, I'm not sure. Has the bubble been good? Not really, it's been on my watch list of cards to cut, but hadn't manned up to cut it yet, but it's been pretty irrelevant. What about the Fountain? I just always play like to play Fountain. When you don't have Saga's postboard, deck is slower. I appreciate having life gain. That's just it. That's always have been it. It's never been a burn hate card. It's always been a card I thought makes sense postboard. Could be reasonable to not play it. Your weird Amulet version has made me change my own list 4 or 5 times already. I just have no idea what list to play anywhere now. Then, too bad. I think mine is very strong. Unfortunately, I can't stop through the breach if I want to play the Dryad. Or Ringullets. Uncertain about your own choices, then just copy my choices. Bud. Will I stream the Vintage Challenge? Probably not. Don't want to double queue. Let's Boseiju the Labyrinth. Can't Turtle Emrakul. Can't Turtle with green red. Because blue mana. That's the issue. In general, yes, can Turtle Emrakul. That's kind of the nice thing about the card. Dryad fixes my mana, but doesn't make me have 2 mana here. of the correct colors. On the next turn I can have 6 mana and keep up. Play Ring and keep up the Skyturtle, so that's gonna be good. I can even pay the ward from Ulamog. This deck doesn't play Karn, right? Opposing deck? Yeah, they do not. Assuming it's through the breach, but they showed Ulamog the Defiler, so I should lead this. Why 2 Vestige? Do I think it's better than 8th Bounce Land? Hard to say. Very well might be. I kind of do think that actually. Oh, well, no damage combat, let's go. It's hard to fade all the lands. It's still better to draw a Vestige and a bounce land than this to draw 2 bounce lands for the most part. Am I going to Paprikash in 2 tygodnie? I'm not. I'm going to Canada for a week to visit family. So, unfortunately, I have a scheduling conflict then, so Paprikash is gonna be canister free. You're only playing 7 bounces. I have never played less than 10. I know, like, there's been a lot of that across the Amulet deck builders, where people just were repeating that, oh, you need so many bounce lands for your deck to function, you need to play 9, 10, or 11 even, maybe 12, and I don't think it's actually true. Ideally you draw just 1 or 2 per game. Lotus Field works like a bounce land too, so I just swapped a chamber for a Lotus Field. You do the same thing, you hold it for the last land drop to untap once or twice. Crumbling Vestige and a bounce land is a better thing to draw than 2 bounce lands. 6 mana Eldrazi, what's that? Is that Mycosynth? You need green for that, my friend. Oh, it's Commando. Makes sense. Let me wykurwił te Dryady. So I've been playing 8 bounce lands before MH3. I was really happy with that, and I don't remember, maybe I even cut one to play like 3 or 4 Vestige at one point. And it's been just fine. Missing the 3rd forest? I'm not missing anything. I'm just comfortable with life. So I can go Amulet. Use, okay, get Lotus Field. 6 mana. Dryad. Play this as Lotus Field, 9 mana. TUS for 6 mana card win. Summoner's Pact would be nice here. Yeah, let's grab one. I have even more mana actually. The Dryad. We lost to Twiddle Lotus. Tururu, turu. Tururu, turu. And I'll use Urza's Cave to find so yeah. Lumra is the same as Analyst, yeah. So are you winning with Analyst? Yeah, it's the same. Like, it could have been another Analyst, but there also assuredly are situations where I would prefer Analyst Lumra to Analyst, so I just play Split. Bristling Backwoods. Is that the desert that pings you for 1 damage? You don't need it, you don't want to play it, it's actually useless. Maybe it's not useless, it's useful against specifically Twiddlestorm when they play the One Ring against you and you need to kill them in their upkeep. What would you answer if a opponent asks, am I dead here? I would not answer. Instead I would continue clicking. Maybe Bristling Backwoods is something else though. You can win through ring by setting up the Valakut Dryad loop with Analyst and doing it on upkeep. Yeah, I know. It just came up in the conversation earlier, but I guess that was because the original poster did not play Dryad Valakut, so that's why then they would need the Bristling Woods, but yeah, Smilers does play Dryad and I prefer to play Dryad, it's pretty cool. Basically, once you have the loop, you just have infinite everything. Except for life points, unless you have Radiant Fountain in your deck, then you do have infinite life points. Or if you have Endurance in your deck, you also probably have infinite life points. Or probably there is some other ways to have infinite life points, because you could get it through Spelunking. Well, you need Spelunking in your deck. But Spelunking can be a source of life gain. Urza's Cave is a cave, and also Echoing Deeps is a cave. So you have plenty of caves. So you can actually trigger the Spelunking gain for ability. Keep. Petus sounds like a Latin form of flatulence. I'd have no idea what's a flatulence. Ultimate price? Sure, buddy. Farting. I see. I'll play Kessig Wolf Run and Amulet of Vigor on 10-1 in order to keep Boseiju in my hand. I hope that's understandable to all of you, chat. Unfortunately, Villain has a tough one to make a mulligan decision on. Do you remember your toughest mulligan decisions, chat? You ever played a tournament where there was something incredible on the line and you got an opening 7 that was so puzzling that you had no idea what to do? I played combo decks in tournaments often, so I guess I often had hands where I draw them and I'm missing a single land from actually being great and killing on turn 3 or whatnot. I guess I don't remember the exact contents, but you know, plenty of Amulet, Growth Chamber, Titan, Summer Bloom hands. Which when you get a hand like this on the draw in a spot where you're playing for a PT qualification, it's really to make the decision. You're gonna feel so smart or so stupid if you keep. What do you do in that spot? I don't know, broski. I remember that has happened a few times. I like to keep those pretty often, but don't always have the balls. There was a coverage match of me playing against Desani, where I kept a hand like this. It was, I think, Grand Prix Stockholm. Don't remember the year, but I was playing KCI and I kept some hand that couldn't cast any spells, but it was close to being incredible. It was a KCI hand. Some like Mox Up out of Missing Metalcraft shenanigans, but I think I kept, so like I think this was a one-lander with a Darksteel Citadel, but then I got Stone Silence and won anyways, pretty easily by ripping a few lands and playing a Psy, and then the game took a while. And Villain did not look happy at the end of that. I think it might have involved missing a land drop on turn 2 of the game. Oh, Villain finally keeps. So sorry. It's okay. Or rather, sorry for what? So sorry, was that preemptive sorry for forcing my amulet? Huh? Bad? Remember any salty reactions? Salty reactions? To what? In general? Maybe I don't have like strong memories of that. Since I've become relatively recognizable in the Magic the Gathering world relatively early, people just don't behave too obscenely, I guess, like when playing against me. That's a terrible fate. Ultimate price. Boseiju, Amulet, Special Map, Titan, Grazer, Force of Vigor. Why is there a Force of Vigor in my deck? Did I misclick during deck submission? I'm back. One time at my LGS playing in RCQ, I didn't know how an interaction worked from my opponent's deck. Opponent didn't knew also. We both suggested different solutions, then came up with a third one. The judge heard this and corrected the free calls. Yeah, sounds like a pretty good thing to do. I'll block the frog if villain lets me. Sure. Villain did not let me. I like to think that judges are our friends and we can just call them anytime. Damn. Now we have Analyst in the graveyard with Delirium. Oh, it resolves. Well, GG. Bro, just explode that. Let's board defense grins. Vexing Bobel. Dismember in case of the stupid Merfolkman. Colossal Turtle in case of the need for being colossal. Grazer is not too bad. Can trim one Saga if we fear the Merfolkman. And you can trim a Boseiju because it's bad to draw. Maybe one Grazer. Because it's not actually great to draw too many, but it's not too bad at stopping the frog from pressuring you for a tiny bit. Wow, Kani, how do I become Giga Chad like you? Damn, that's a very loaded question. It's auto, yes, no. Villainous at 5. Equity. What a hand. How many turtle hardcasts so far? 0. In general, do you ever keep a 7-card hand without Amulet or Saga? Yes, I do. Post-board, or when I know I'm up against a slower matchup, if I just have Explore into Ring, I'm just keeping that all the time. If you play turn 1 Lotus Field, you can copy it on turn 2 of Echoing Deeps. I think you're funny. Oh, what? This way, maybe? Put back Gardens? Does that make sense? Not really. Can't keep Lotus Field reasonably. This way, maybe. I don't know. All of the ways seem pretty bad. Oh no, Blasted Mire. That means Magus of the Tides. What's for lunch? It's rice with meat and vegetables. Cashews. Which I prepped earlier. Good for this time. Another one. No vintage challenge, I'm not double queuing anymore, ever again. There's enough challenges not to have to do that. Have I considered returning Grazer 10 instead of bouncing Frog? Yes. Will I tap Bazaar and Saturday's Vintage Quali? If I end up playing it, yes. I'm not sure. Well, I already have the qualification, so I literally don't care. But if I do, then sure, why not? Need 2 more types, if only I had Rumble. Pitched Hacking Counterspell, wow. This is funny, I can T-West to get Delirium. Can't make it Titan this turn. Why is that funny? Because I wouldn't be able to otherwise.
He's a phenomenal control player.
It mana fixed for me. I'm sorry if you find that not funny enough for you, then too bad. That's just so insane to release this into the format. What for? Who needed that? Who wanted that? Do I think the blue-black frog deck is good? It's good at being annoying, but being insufferable. How do you say that? Insufferable. Yeah, insufferable. That's what it's good at. Was the 7-card hand almost a keep? Yes. Turn to frog, fries. Why they have Snare Post board for greed? It's probably to counter 2 drop spells. That would be my guess. Of which I have 7 right now. Good bubble to guarantee resolve ring. I've had some bad news for you. If no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Costs 3 more. It's a bit awkward, and I was wondering if I should cut bubble for that reason. What happens if you're Shifting Woodlands a Saga on your upkeep? It's a Saga, so it just follows all of the rules of Sagas that you'd expect. So in your first main phase you add a lore counter. Doesn't your land just die? Why would it? It's often confused with the Blood Moon killing the Saga rule. The reason why Blood Moon kills the Saga is because a Saga that has resolved all of its chapters goes to graveyard. With Blood Moon in play, Saga has 0 chapters on it because it's a mountain. While somehow still remaining a Saga. Since it has 0 chapters, all of its chapters have been fulfilled. It goes to graveyard. No, like other creatures are goblins removes abilities? Yeah, it's pretty weird. Blood Moon is a pretty unintuitive card. Zajebiście spaczowałeś, ziomeczku, naprawdę. Doceniam to. I think it's because it gives them, makes them a copy of the card Mountain and not give them that type. You sure? I'm not sure. Okay, subtlety check. I mean, what are the odds that the villain will have subtlety, right? Haha. They could also have Consign to counter the trigger for 4 mana. People board Consign for a Cockring. Are we not dead to Frog even if they don't have it? For sure my Titan will not find a... How do you get to replicate? You don't get to replicate. For sure my Titan will not find a way to deal the Frog. Well, I guess it will not, but... If Titan resolves, I attack Otawara, bounce the Frog. I'm therefore not dead to Frog and I win the game. Later on. A land becoming a mountain is a very specific thing. Mountains in Magic have the ability to make red and nothing else. Okay. Too bad we don't have it on top land. No. Oh yeah, sure. I was thinking Storm, but then Devourer of Destiny. Always funny to see that. To see what the best deck players move on to then. After it gets banned, and you know, imagine switching from Nadu to Eldrazi. Those are like the opposite decks. Damn, turn 1 talisman though. Villain exiled 4 cards? Or kept 7, I think. I think they didn't keep anything.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Oh, free to devour and 1-2 games in last rounds. They kept something. Something that was not that, so maybe I'll get through the breach next turn, huh? We'll see. Huey Bound, thank you for the sub. I play Onion Ring, sure. Alright, Lumra. It's time for you to shine. Those are not growth chambers, so I can transmute my T-Vest. Seems to be a raccoon in my house. Oh, it's fairly not nice to say about the Fulak. I could go Turf, Grazer Turf. Return T-Vest to my hand. Keep Mirrorpool in play. I could Turf, Grazer will put Vesuva, copying Mirrorpool into play. Untap it once, and I have not enough mana to cast a Lumra. There seems to be a raccoon in your house. Holy shit, bros. What the hell? So in my understanding, this is the best movement. Got Saga and Boseiju. Yeah, not bad. It's a colorless mana source, so I guess it's actually very fine. Good win. Now we have the chamber, so we win. Happily ever after. Komora losowania jest pusta. Wstępuje zwolnienie blokady. Let's Boseiju everything for education purposes. Chat is going to learn something. It even costs 1 green. Concedes the game. How curious. So this was a low penny, I would continue doing that. Basically. Can only beat Breach. It's not that you can only beat Breach, it's that you cannot lose to Breach and everything else is extra. So today I did pretty poorly in the extras department, but don't you mill cards until you find Shifting Woodlands and the Analyst? So as I said, it's a loop, so like I do literally what I want. Sure, if you want to, you can do that. Otherwise with Lumra I would mill your deck, so that's actually kind of bad. You don't want that to happen. Just in case. Although even if you mill your deck with Lumra, you can kill them in their upkeep. What were today's losses? Today's losses were to being on the draw and getting horribly unfortunate. Those are the only two things that can stop me, so... Honestly, like... Day like any other day. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Opponent. I'll hit them with the .com. Alright, villain. You've earned that. It's my plan against Storm. It's to dodge or be quick. What, nothing else makes sense anyway, so spending cyber slot seems like a bad idea. Does an Azusa cyber make sense then? No. Hecate is good. Ellen of Troy, of course. Azusa doesn't really meaningfully speed you up like enough to make a difference. Like Azusa is not a hand that you play against Storm and you sit down and before drawing your opening 7 you say, holy shit, I really hope my hand is going to have an Azusa in it. When will they finally print a land with Trini Sphere effect? Hopefully soon. No, like it's like if you're on the play, you can win against Storm easily. You keep a turn free kill hand, you're on the play and you win. Until they play against some caverns and then that all goes to shit, so it's a bit rough still, but opponent, what are you doing? Opponent triple queuing in the Vintage Challenge right now. God dating game set in a mythological underworld. Hades. Quick movement mechanic in 20 down, 25 something. Dash. It is better than ever. It is better than ever. What does God dating mean? In Hades you build relationships with other characters and then sometimes you can have romantic ones. So it just means what it means on face value, I think. This is the best god to date in Hades. I don't think you can actually date any gods. Even though I just said that that's like what the game is referring to, what the puzzle is referring to. But instead some like mythological characters, but not quite gods. But the full answer to that is I don't know. I did not get to that point. Really impressive opening from my opponent. Really makes you think. Really makes you respect the Through the Breach deck. Although maybe that means that they will go Eugene's Labyrinth and Through the Breach next turn. Lurma. I only get to keep one permanent. If I get hit by Emrakul. So maybe I'll play the Vesuva and just hope to draw lands of the ring to play around that a little bit. They did exile, which is Labyrinth with their Devourer, so Steerings. Remember when Steerings was the next card to be banned in Modern? I'm telling you, the One Ring is literally the same. This is not an invitation to Bantok, by the way. In years, you'll look at the card being played and you'll think, huh, they really did that. They really think it was that strong. Why did we not keep Vesuva in hand? Because I wanted to have more permanents to keep Ring plus Amulet if villain Emrakuls me. Putting some trust in the top of my deck, I'll draw 3 cards, so I'm likely to find lands. I think I'll just summon Lumra and then I'm gonna see what happens. I could try to Otawara it, but I can still do that. Notwithstanding your current record, how has Amulet Titan felt in the new format? Notwithstanding. Amulet is great. Withstanding or not. Felt good. We mailed Titan, Chamber, Woodland. Good hits. Tururu. Go again. We got Urza's Cave, Turf, Grazer. We won. Zulul. Urza's Cave is just... It just plugs all the holes in the strategy. Lumra was pretty nice here. Seemed better than Analyst would have been in this spot, indeed. If I'm correct. I really love plugging all the holes in my deck strategy. Same. A good thing they didn't have Kozilek's Commando actually, because that would have been annoying. Why was Lumra better there over Analyst? Because you cannot loop Otawara Lumra. Rather, you cannot loop Otawara Analyst. But you can loop Otawara Lumra, like short loop. Where I'm just trying to hit some good stuff to progress. Do I miss Nadu? Not yet. Nadu was honestly fairly annoying, and at the end of Nadu's existence I was kind of bored of it. Too caught up, and I said, "Ah, Ragdos, no, I play Esper." Do I keep track of every match I have ever played? Not really. That does not sound particularly feasible. Keep track of every match I have ever played. Well, I can remember most of the matches from the paper tournament. Round 8 Cuneo, lost 1-2, 9-7. I think my deck was pretty bad, but... Fotsies, bro, fuck off. How am I supposed to win now? What's next? Obnixilis? But do you remember our match at GP Lille Modern Side event from 2016? What did you play? O Jezu, ale tych kotów nasra. Jan and you on Dredge. I think that side event made me not play Dredge in the main event. I think I played Shadow? Yeah, Shadow Zoo. And I lost badly to you. And I told you that you made me not play Dredge. I think that's how it went. No, ja cię dupię. So I live if my opponent has no removal spell, but they obviously have a Bowmasters and they just were calculating if they want to flash it in or not, which they assuredly should have to copy the army tokens and get more 0/0s, but why would you do that? Who's a combo deck now? It's Mardu, so I don't need to board out Sagas. Although you never know, like the Mardu Moon has happened before. For Dumpling Sphere, holy shit. Colossus perhaps, pretty rough against the Bowmasters deck. This bug against Dumping Sphere. I don't think Sphere alone merits Force of Vigor. Dimir Merktide. Black only for Thoughtseize. Meanwhile, Obnixilis, Bowmaster, Spotseize, Fatal Push, Nile Spellbomb. Fair. Only for Thoughtseize, yes. I think I can play the Boseiju without much punishment. Doesn't really matter if I play the Amulet or not, but if I draw... Yeah, actually I don't know, I probably should have played the Vestige. MH3, KW. Planes, by the way, holy guacamole. Keep the land in play, seems better in general. Mountain. Amped Raptor. Into Guide of Souls. Souls have been guided. Quad amulets and top whatever. Meltdown, let's go. No meltdown, lucky. Raptor into Werther. Oh no. That's gonna reduce the amount of amulets in play that I control. That's really rough. Opponent instead saving the energy to attack me, but you're already a dead man walking, my friend. Unless you Thoughtseize me. No. No. Ragavan. No. Unfair. Alright, we got, what, 4 looks? We got 3 looks. Okay, we live. It's good. No comrade. Holy shit, that's true. It's good. I'll just wait for the scoop. Hey, opponent. Villain. Hey, where is your scoop? Holy guacamole, no scooperoni. D1 ring plus cards that don't matter. Be careful, Bamzing, or soon you will not matter in this chat. To start sequentially. The lore is not all that deep and it's not the focus of the game, so I wouldn't care. So true, Scent Nutritious. $40 feet. Am I crazy, or is that a lot of triggers? You're definitely crazy. Why isn't the villain scooping? Holy shit, that's literally true. Why isn't villain scooping? Country roads, take me home. Oh, villain scooped, actually. Keep? Seems okay. This is the no Amulet, no Saga hand that I keep too. It just ramps with Grazer on turn 1 and then into Dryad and then into Explore and then into Titan and then all around pretty good. It's like especially kinda good against somebody who has kept so-called Amulet hate in hand. Dumpling Sphere, that's fine. Maybe I shouldn't play the Urza Saga if they tear my Saga. Fuck yeah. What is that? 3 mana? Fulminator Mage? Bro, fuck off. What is that? Okay, destroy the Saga. What the hell? What was that? Dropping Giganta for Fulminator Mage? I guess. It's probably Chtonian Nightmare deck, so it makes sense, actually, now that I think about it. It's pretty sensible. I could see myself struggling against Chtonian. I think that's the best I can do. Fuck yeah. Well, they Chthonian the Fulminator Mage, I'll die badly, I guess, but hopefully they will not do that. And I think I'm kind of glad that villain killed my Saga instead of killing my Turf. I guess they were afraid of the constructs, maybe. Rightfully or not. They would have played Chthonian over the Bowmasters. I guess not, they couldn't. They wouldn't because they couldn't and because they wouldn't want to. Oi oi oi. Guide of Souls, that seems like no Chthonian. I find it funny that Ocelot Pride plus Orcish Bowmasters just makes 0/0s. Also, I wouldn't mind throwing a Sweeper. DBH. An orc just died and you're laughing. My piece, I know. Tiny bit too slow. I guess just summoning a Titan on a board like this is also not really doing it much favors. The Dumpling Sphere. Ay ay ay. Alright, Titan, I guess back to being unplayable. Nothing else can be said. When a mid-range deck destroys me like that. And seems okay. Inquisition of Kozilek. Is that the famed Necro Molten's deck with no grief? What were the losses besides Lotus? I was in the gym. Mardu Energy and Dimir Frog, so roughly the entire spectrum of the metagame got us. More or less. What is the point of this new lands like Urza's Cave and Echoing Deeps? It's to perform infinite combos. Green. Bogart Troller. I was expecting Necro Dominance, but Bogart Troller will do the job too. I am the storm that is approaching. That's all I can do this turn. But next turn I have 2 amulets and I double Amulet Titan. Grief Scam doesn't exist anymore, so my hand is unlikely to get wrecked. Another Bogart Troller. Friend, your deck truly looks impressive. This seems like a double Q move. The Bogart Troller is just so funny. It's like, I get that it's a land, but it gets cast so often and it's so unthreatening. Does the list have gardens? Yes. You can look my list at canisterslist.com. Tea room. I am the storm that is approaching. Da, 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 ra, ra, ra. Da, 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 da. Lumra, below the woods. Rawr. 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 That's the Lumra sound. The sound of the future. This new loop is very cool. I know people, Twitch chatters love loops. They love to see me looping, comboing, going through the motions, assembling the infinite, performing game actions, and many other. It's just their favorite activity. Am I not right, bros? I am a storm that is approaching. It's not even the last round of the challenge, so you might very well win this and lose the next one, so you know, there's options. Somebody wanna trade me 100 ticks now? Most sane message. Yeah, I'll trade 100 ticks. I'm sending my tickets immediately. Transferring the funds right now. For real? Not actually for real. I stack Amulet triggers. Halfway there. Stacking and stacking and stacking. Almost done. Only a few more to stack. Is Wincon Valakut? Wincon is whatever I wish. I can do everything right now. Nobody can stop me. It can be Valakut if you wish, if that's your preferred way to victory, to actually deal damage. That's good, could be. My preferred method of defeating opponent. I'll use Hanweir Battlements. Only one on top, too bad. Perdón. Villain had enough. How do you win this turn? I'll attack you. You have Force of Despair. I'll instead Valakut you. They were fine. Did we even need the pair to win here? We did not know. Vexing Bubble comes in. Fire Spout, question mark? No. They like have Bowmasters in their deck, that's the creature they play. The only one. Not sure if I should have Radiant Fountain. Probably not good. But it's a Necro deck, so it's not really an aggro deck. You could Fire Spout for Voidwalkers, I guess. It's probably not too bad, honestly. My first reaction was that it's gonna be terrible, but it's probably not too bad after thinking about it. Winning through force would be pretty time consuming, perhaps. Draw Pact immediately with the bubble. Awesome. Also, Kessig Wolf Run means I can get land destroyed by Break the Ice, which is unfortunate. Yeah. I guess Grief doesn't exist, so you don't need to rush the bubble to play anymore in the same way. Draws 4. Only 4? It's good to play it so it doesn't get FOT seized, yeah, but like at the cost of... Not necessarily at the cost of what I did. Exposing a lane to break the ice on turn 2, which otherwise I could have wasted their turn. 9 life. Extraction. Cool. Draws 4 at 5 life. Let's see if Villain has a Jolred to play. Inquisitor. Sure. Villain has a Jolred to play. Which means they draw 4. Just not the best, but not the worst. I guess Radiant Fountain is also a colorless land for Break the Ice. That's another downside of it. Amuletos. Pass, and I guess hope to draw bounce lands. Abrupt Decay. Or a card. Of course it's looking rough as Villain. It's gonna be drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing more and 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 cards. Bogart Troller, one of them. Wait, where's my amulet? It just disappeared. How do I win this turn? Well, most likely I don't. I thought I had 2 amulets and like, I guess one of them was a bubble, which fooled me. Let's cut Grazer, and let's have Dismember, and let's cut Radiant Fountain. Dismember for the Jolred actually might matter in some spots. I think we can be at 60 cards then. Force of Vigor looks too bad in my view. But yeah, basically I imagined that winning this turn would have been easier because I hallucinated an amulet on the battlefield, which wasn't there. Boseiju is really good to have. Stops Necro. I think I played a Saga on turn 1. It's a bit unclear if I want to. It's a DK deck too. I think I actually don't. I'll play the District first. I'll keep Amulet. How has Urza's Cave been? It's been good. Inquisition, let's go. Yes. Inquisition. Kozilek. Let's play Boseiju to play around. Waste. Break the ice. Waste not the ice. How has Urza's Cave been? Surprisingly decent. It enables the combos pretty successfully. Black. Podsist? No nie, jaki laker. Jaki laker dog. Now it's a tough spot, but I guess I'll turf Boseiju. You threw out your PT stamped Urza's Cave and now you have to buy one for 2.5 USDs. I could get you one if you lived nearby, but that is not the case, so I will not. Playing the cave plays better around Break the Ice, but that's about it. The Onion Ring, fine. Can I draw a bounce land, perhaps? Nope. You can't canister. You cannot. Joldred. That's fairly unthreatening. Hello, John Star. How you doing? Oh, dismember. I play 6 mana 1/1. Maybe I can get extracted on the Lotus Field or something. Oh no, my 1/1 got killed. Cool. That's among the less problematic things that anyone has ever done to me. Why did villain do that? Because once I return the lands, the bear is too big to kill, so villain just killed the bear immediately. It makes sense to do that. It doesn't really do anything to do that, but it makes sense that they did it now. Am I going to play the super? Probably not. I'm already qualified. It's an overnight tournament. Those are pretty rough. So I was making copies of it with Mirrorpool. Yeah, that's true, of course. Yeah, Amulet. Oh, I don't have that on the list. No, I do. Oh, whatever. Aren't you overkilling right now? For sure. But you know, it's all to play around Force of Despair, so it's not really overkilling. I have a purpose. No matter how deep Urza delved, he couldn't escape his regrets. What regrets? Only fun stuff in the cave. Mirrorpools, Tolaria Wests. Holy shit, Tolaria West represents Urza's regrets. This deck is actually lore accurate. Because like this is a card you sometimes gonna fetch with Urza's Cave. Giganta! Holy guacamole, that's a bit rough. How do I beat a Giganta? We're going to get mooned on turn 3. Sure, buddy. In another world, maybe. There's no way they have it. Or turn 2. Sure, buddy. Marionette Apprentice. See, it's a Mardu deck. What were the losses to? I lost to Twiddlestorm. No, excuse me. I lost to being on the draw, then I lost to bad luck, and then I lost to not mulliganing a hand I should have. All the matchups were unwinnable anyways. Any chance I summon Analyst now? Not really. Sounds like a bad idea. Kind of scary spot. Ocelot Pride, dobra. Ocelot Pride, z czego jest taki kurwa dumny, co? Frajerze. Can we draw a bounce land? Or a Lotus Field? One time, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or ring. Oh, bounce land. I am so skillful. Probably should bounce the Saga. What is the way to play through a Galvanic Discharge right now? The Analyst. Land Enchantment Land. Urza's Cave free, kinda, to get, yeah. Somewhat. Garden Copy is bad here. Garden Copy is good. I think it's pretty hard to lose. But Garden Copy is pretty nice. Whoops. What will I be playing in Lila? Likely Phoenix, but maybe hard testing will deem otherwise. Or I guess Igra. If Igra is gonna be base, but I don't know if it is. This church can kill Titan. Oh, because they have hub, that's true. Well, who are you testing with? KCT and some other folks. What means KCT? It's a group of Polish players. A Polish trio. It contains Ardos, Olsen 1-1 and Zerg 4. And their motto is "to hard test." So hashtag hard testing Team KCT. This loop is crazy. It is. It's like, honestly, it's been fun, but it's getting a little bit old at this point for me. It does require pretty heavy clicking. And I'm not making it easier for myself because I'm not going for the optimal short lines. I'm just taking the longest way around that I can. Better than Nadu loop. Yeah. Well put. Jezu, on się nie chce już napierdalać tym tytanem tego ziomka. Have to be careful of first strike damage plus discharge. When will there be a sideboard guide? Relatively soon, at some point, when I sit down and write it down. Kinda awkward to, like, you know, of course the sideboard guides are kinda desired at first because people are also not used to their own decks. But, you know, if I don't know myself yet, then I have a harder time posting one. Did I try to build a version of Dryad and doing more graveyard loop stuff? I did not, but There are lists like that online. You can check them out. House of Mana MTG should be your source of inspiration. What is Colossal Skyturtle for? It's really good to have a big flyer of Ward 2 sometimes. Actually, I did. Like, at first I played with... At first when Lumra released, I played a version with, I think, 4 Analyst and 3 or 4 Lotus Field. And it was really bad. I also played Rumble over Explore and I just had hands with too many lands. I couldn't get the lands out. I had the hands I needed to loop with in my hand. Stack. I had Lotus Field and playing with it was just incredibly terrifying and terrible, frankly, because so often I was in spots where I was supposed to play out a Lotus Field with 2 amulets out, but that just meant that if my analyst gets countered, I just lose on the spot. So I hated that. Honestly. So I had a really crude build of that, and what House of Mana MTG has right now is much better than what I had back then for sure. So maybe I got discouraged quickly by a bad build and didn't revisit. Endurance versus surgical / flash. If you're going to board in endurance for those reasons, then you're better off not having endurance in your sideboard. I think it is just bad to do stuff like that. Oh no, Bowmasters is going to get me. And what can you do? Love the sneakiness. Ha! I fetch! I play Orcish Bowmasters. I ping you! Planes? You sure about that, buddy? Don't play Moon, right? No Giganta. Did they have Giganta game 1? I don't think so, right? I think we didn't see Giganta. It's an interesting draw. But I think I'll play second Saga first. Don't need to 5-spot now, can just make a monster block. What do I think of the Titan version with Karn? Don't get me started on that again. Karn synergizes in roughly 0 ways with the Amulet Titan deck. There's no point in playing that, don't do that. Holy guacamole, fire spouting now would have been good actually. Hopefully no Flipayani somehow. Wear Tear into the graveyard. Tear? Hmm. Whoops. How is Amulet in the current meta? It's incredible. One of the best decks I ever played. Look at this. Ajani triggers. Ha! Trigger all you want from the graveyard. Trigger away. Flash, Titan of Titans, Fury. In this spot, I think, what if I have brought Bojuka Bog into my deck? That would have been okay. Or maybe Endurance. Because as it is, I do die to... Arrow downs left in the graveyard. Can make it into a Dryad. Which can let me transmute. Kessigiem leciał 2 tury, no policzmy. 4, 5, 6. Plus 4. 8 i 8. No fajny letal, fajny. Chłop ma tutaj 26 HP. Gonna do this instead. Blue, blue. Mobster. T-Vest. Transmute. Summer's Pact. Hopefully we can dodge Arena of Glory. And then we win. I'm not attacking because there is no upside in attacking ever in this spot. Arm Traptor goes into the graveyard. Makes sense. You also have to dodge Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize and Arena of Glory save my opponent. Ocelot Pride. Sure. Z czego taki kurwa dumny z siebie znowu jesteś? Frajerze. Isn't there? So, like, me dealing 3 damage to my opponent do not impact the outcome of the game. And blocking might. I don't know about what exactly, but I prefer to block an imaginary monster than not to do that. Wily 2 right now. I was long waiting to reduce the amount of packs in my deck, so I finally got to do that and I am just ecstatic. Ecstatic. What was the worst case scenario here? Could I have whiffed? Okay, I'll draw the Titan. Well, more or less. Of course, going for Titan was better than going for Mr. Beast or going for Lumra even, with TOS in the graveyards. Oh, actually no Lumra. Titan to make copy kill. Yeah. I've just done that.